What's going on YouTube? I got another video for you today, and before I start this, have you seen the new channel art? I think it looks amazing. It's awesome. It has like an outer space theme to it, and it's something I've always liked, and that's why I made it. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you about the first experience I've ever had with playing at a competitive level, you know, in Call of Duty. And if you haven't seen the last video, that's pretty much what I was talking about, and you know, I talk about some other things. Another random thoughts video, you can check that out if you want. So the first experience I've ever had was when I was in high school. I was a sophomore, and these guys from my school had made a game. So they put together a tournament, and they had rented out like our local theater, and it was a pretty big place, so it seated a lot of people, and a lot of people had signed up for it. I believe it was like $4 or $6 for an entrance fee. And the tournament was based around Black Ops 2, and that's the game we were playing for the tournament. So I was like, alright, cool. You know, maybe I have a chance at this, maybe I could win. And the prize for this was $100. So the person who could make it to be the winner, I guess, would win $100, and it was single elimination. So if you lost, you were done. It was a 1v1. And you know, there was things going around like, oh, it could be like 2 teams, you know, and we didn't really know much about it until about the day before they had told us. So I asked the guy, I was like, you know, is this like doubles? Is this like a 1v1? He's like, yeah, it's a 1v1, and you know, the prize is $100. I was like, alright, cool. So the next day I had gone to the theater, and you know, I paid my way in. My friend was there. He wanted me to buy him in, so I was like, alright, cool. So we kind of made an agreement there, like, if you win, you know, it was 50-50 at first. We'd split the money 50-50, but it's like, you know, if you win, you get 60-40, and if I win, I get 60, you get 40. And that's how, you know, it's a tournament, and you know, things like that. So when we got there, you know, we sat down, and they kind of just showed us like their game and how it was they developed it, and we could download it at the time. They said, you know, it was free download. You know, we thought it was on Steam or something, so it was like a big game, but it was something they had made, so that was pretty cool. I didn't know that you know, they made a game, and they showcased it, and they showed us, you know, how things worked in there, and it was pretty cool. I remember it being sort of like Portal, but it was so unique in its own way that it wasn't like it. It had like a sense of it, but it wasn't really Portal. And I don't know, I think that kind of made them mad that we're comparing it to Portal, but that's kind of what it looked like. You know, it's what it looked like to me. And I never got to play it because I forgot what the game title was. But that's how the whole tournament, that's what the tournament was based around. They wanted to show their game. And so, okay, I'm going to go back to the story of the tournament. After they had finished their presentation, we started doing matches. So it was 1v1, and I was one of the people who would be one of the first to play. So I was like, oh man. And I didn't know what console it was on because I played PlayStation. And I was like, alright, you know, I have an edge, you know, I might be a little better than some of these people. And then I found out it was on Xbox. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this because I never really played on Xbox before. You know, I'd play it with my friend when I go to his house. And I didn't have much experience playing on the Xbox. I was like, alright. So I played my first game, I beat the kid, and I don't know how great of a match it was, but I think it was alright. You know, I had the upper hand on him, and he was sort of a younger kid, so I was like, alright, you know, they called it like the grinder round or something. It was like, because there was a lot of people there. It was enough to fill up about, I think there was over 100 people who had signed up, so I don't know, there was a lot of people anyway. So I sat down, you know, I was sitting by the bracket, so I looked at the bracket and I was going to see who was up next. I was like, alright. And a few games later, my friend was there, and he was up next to play, and he beat this kid like 0 to 10. We were playing to 10 on Team Deathmatch, and I can't remember what map it was on, but it was a pretty small map. And we played with MTARs. We couldn't create our own class, they had the class set up for us. So we played with the MTAR, and I wasn't really good with the MTAR, and just to make it worse, it was on Xbox, so I couldn't play as good as I would have been able to on if it was PS3. So I played my next match, and I waited and waited. You know, I was watching all the other people play. I was like, alright, you know, I was kind of just, you know, scoping out and how they play. I was like, alright, well, he drops shots, and okay, he hides behind the walls. Okay, he kind of camps in the corner. And I was like tactically looking at how the other players played in case I had to, you know, go against them. So I was like, you know, okay, I'm ready for this. And and I ended up playing my friend, and I was like, oh man, this isn't good, because my friend was pretty good at the game, and I said this already, and I was like, oh man, I don't know how this is gonna work out for me. And you know, we played each other, and he did end up beating me, and you know, I didn't get the $100. I was, if I had to say, I ended up probably like around 7th place. And you know, that was pretty great at the time, and I was like, you know, that's awesome. And anyways, that's my story of the first competitive thing. My mic just cut out. Anyways, I'll see you guys in another video, another day. You do what you do best. Until then, I will see you next time. Later.